Greetings. Shamelessly Arguing with Vegans is this book authored by myself, Swati Prakash, and it's available from earthhealingnetwork.com because we all know that we're in a state of emergency. We have rare climate emergency, economic emergency, and we have seen health emergencies in the past. These situations are likely to repeat themselves until the world comes to an end if we do not end the cause of it, which is animal farming, animal agriculture, non-veganism, cruelty. If we continue to live in a cruel world where 150 billion land animals are slaughtered year after year in increasing numbers, that too, not just that much, it increases every year, and 3 trillion fish killed per annum, obviously we're going to see these type of emergencies only. So what are we waiting for? Please download this book, educate the world, and clear all the doubts that people have, from nutrition to spiritual to any doubts whatsoever that they might have, the arguments that they are unable to get the right truth from, and to guide you. On a positive note, I have this beautiful card from the Gita deck. It says, pearls on a thread. Of course, this is symbolic. It doesn't mean that you really should use pearls. This means that what is found in this creation arises because there is nothing beyond the self. There's nothing beyond the one. There is always this unity consciousness in everyone. So when this card says there's nothing beyond me, it doesn't mean a human bodied person, because the body is the illusory part of us. We are the spirit embodied in physical dimension, but in the truth dimension, we're all one. We're all beings made of perfect love, perfect kindness, and all the unkindness that we carry over here is all illusory, temporary, and must be destroyed. We have to call it out. This is wrong, this is evil. We have to let go of that evil. The evil does not go with us into ideal dimensions of truth, the heavenly planes, whatever you call it. The truth is never evil. Now, let us understand, what is it that the negative beings have against this beautiful concept? I'll pull out the argument for the day from this book, one that I haven't featured before on camera. So this is argument number 45. It says humans have always been hunters, scavengers. We've consumed animals since the dawn of humanity. It's a part of our history, cavemen. Okay, we had food from animals. We used to have weapons, spears, and kill mammoths in the wild, and that's what our teachers have taught us in school, haven't they? That's how they say that they're not vegan. They're not vegan because of history of humankind. That is how we developed as humans. Is it true? Well, frankly, what I've written here is that it's really, really unlikely that we're going to need implements to save ourselves from a tiger attacking us. Because right now we're living in cities, right? We're not living in those caves. So the reason those cavemen had these implements, spears, and weaponry is because they lived in wild, dangerous situations. Imagine if you were living in that situation. You're living in a cave with children. You cannot control your population. You have no health care. You've got no conveniences, no electricity. You have nothing. And where have we come from that to now? Haven't we come very far? So just watch this pleasant documentary, The Game Changers. Now, this is very positive. It sheds the light on the subjects of ancient cavemen, Neanderthal men, and they have opinions that they were plant-based too, except that you cannot get the leftovers of their food now because they've been decomposed. The animal remains, the bones are still there. So maybe that we really are fools to believe that our ancestors were not plant-based, but were eating and thriving on animal products, because we know that we suffer in our health by eating animal products. It's a basic science. If you still want to be a caveman, you don't want to shop, you want to no housing, you want to live out there in the open or something, you can try it out, but it's really, really difficult, isn't it? It's really easy being vegan. Maybe you've heard of some Indian yogis and saints who are really, really high on meditation. They are so powerful in their inner knowing of the self, in their connection with truth, in their disconnection from sensory pleasure. They can live without even food and water for so many days. Not just animal meat. And you can't give up the taste of meat for one lame second because you have no mind power. You have no control over your senses. Now, those are cavemen. Yes, there is a person whom we've heard of who's lived in caves for years and years, not eaten food for a very long time, and still lived absolutely because of meditation. So there are ascetics. There are ascetics that can survive without all these products that we are highly dependent on. I have lived myself without food and water for a number of days, although I do not recommend trying that because it is difficult in your society, in your family, in your culture to do that. However, we can at least be less barbaric. Yes, we don't have to be rudimentary, barbaric. We have to have some level of development spiritually, which means morally, ethically sound, which means a truth-based philosophy that all life is sacred and you don't have to take somebody's life unnecessarily. So maybe you don't want to be an ascetic. Maybe you're comparing yourself with those wild barbaric cavemen instead of the, spiritually developed conscious ones. Maybe Western society and Western education system has taught us that we need to be cruel, but actual truth is that we need to be kind. Lots of negative things are there throughout history. Lots of horrible things happen there. That doesn't mean that we have to absorb them into our energy field. We have to carry all that negative energy and we have to continue being very evil. No, we must be against evil. Don't venerate evil. Don't worship evil ancestors. Don't worship for trade just because ancestors were fur. Don't worship that sort of Lucifer, I would say again. Yeah, don't worship negative beings who would be vain and selfish because at that time in the past they probably didn't have the means to survive. We do now. So we've got to be acting like the evolved beings we are. We're supposed to stop behaving cruel and we have to stop being in the dark ages. So I hope you get my point. It's really a simple one. It's self-explanatory after all of this I've said. And I hope you realize that there is a time that we must make for ourselves to clear off our mind, to cleanse all this negative energy, the toxic energy from all around us, and not to associate with that again.